there's a very, very strong feeling that people who were also out there fighting the Taliban in that war feel that they will somehow perhaps been attacked or be noduled at because of what he said.
Gosh, yeah. Well, Prince Harry's tell-all book Spare is out today. Not sure if you knew. You can finally get your hands on a copy of the already infamous memoir, though all the secrets may already have been spilled after the book leaked earlier this week. The Duke has made a host of pretty damning accusations against the royal family, but as well as a personal cost to him and his family relationships, what about the cost potentially to his privacy? Let's discuss this with the journalist and former newspaper editor Eve Pollard, who joins us now on the show. Afternoon, Eve.
Good afternoon.
There's a question here, is there not, about Harry spilling the beans on everything to do with his life and his innermost feelings, innermost relationships, and the fact that he may not deserve / require such a high level of privacy now. Is there a point to that? Is that a valid argument?
Well, I think people feel that he's been very worried about his own privacy and Meghan's privacy living in America. But of course, he's invaded everybody else's privacy. So he's discussed his father, his stepmother, his brother, his late mother, the royal family, everybody from Princess Margaret up, sideways and down, has been criticized, really. So there is a feeling that if you do that, and I guess if you're going to be paid 20 million for a book, you have to tell everything, including how you lost your virginity, the lot. You don't deserve the privacy that you've asked for. He won't see it that way, I don't think. What's much more worrying is because he talked about killing the Taliban in Afghanistan, he will probably need very, very strong security for the rest of his life.
Yeah, that's a good point to make. So will he find it harder to defend his own right to privacy? Is there any precedent? Is there anything sort of within the media law landscape that tells us that actually he will find it harder to defend his own right to privacy after revealing so much?
Well, the law is the law, and privacy laws do exist, and certain things can't be written about and can't be filmed, I guess, still. But of course, I don't think there'll be much sympathy for someone who's broken so many other people's private lives and talked about people very critically in many cases. And he's now admitted that he probably won't ever come back and be a member of the royal family, which I think most of us had assumed he had put off the table by the book he's written. And of course, now you're going to get book reviewers reviewing the book, not perhaps from the royal point of view, but from the point of view of interest, from the point of view of the writing. And of course, he did not write this. He had a ghostwriter who wrote this. So I guess that's going to drive him mad because they'll be critical of it. So far, I've seen one that's very critical. And he'll say, but I didn't even write it. Well, answer is, perhaps it would have been better had he done so.
Yeah, it'll probably be tested in the fullness of time. I just wonder whether he is going to be subject to perhaps stories that maybe wouldn't have passed the privacy bar, or maybe may have not have been in the national interest to publish, that kind of may now be in the national interest, or in the public interest, to publish, because he's already spilt them from the other side, if you see what I mean. It then does become a matter for public interest, doesn't it?
That's true. And of course, he's set himself out as a matter of public interest now. So I think somebody will say, well, if you've told us so much about your life, how can it be bad that we've told about this story or that story? The other thing is, of course, a lot of innocent people have got caught up in this. It's tough enough if you're a royal member. Very, very tough if you're his father or his relative. But there's a very, very strong feeling that people who were also out there fighting the Taliban in that war feel that they will somehow perhaps been attacked or be noduled at because of what he said.
Gosh, yeah.
And the Invictus Games, which is a rather wonderful thing that he does support every year, that's produced with people sponsoring it. Now, to sponsor it, it costs a lot because it's a very large event, very important for the armed forces. But if you're going to need fantastic security, it'll bump up the price a lot. So maybe he'll dip into his 100 million and sponsor it himself.
Sounds like he's going to need to. Eve Pollard, thank you so much for joining us. Interesting discussion. Thank you.